You are listening to the Affirm Your Greatness podcast. Check out the video description for more details.
Okay, so sometimes don't you feel like the world is just serving up negativity, like it's on a silver platter, doom scrolling and bad news everywhere, and then self-doubt creeps in?
It's easy to get kind of lost in that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But what if there was like this tool, like something simple you could use to kind of shift your mindset?
I like where you're going with this.
Right, like what if you could rewire your brain?
Yeah,
But for positivity.
that's what we're diving into today.
Oh yeah. We're talking all about the power of affirmations and how to actually use them, like practically.
And the really cool thing is it's not like some woo-woo concept, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
Like there's actual science behind it. Yeah, no way.
It all comes down to this thing called neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity.
Yeah, so you know how like our brains are always learning, always adapting?
Right, yeah.
Well, neuroplasticity basically means we can like literally change the structure of our brains through what we think and the experiences we have.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying if I keep telling myself I am strong, I am capable, my brain actually starts believing it?
Exactly. Like imagine this. Every time you repeat an affirmation, right, it's like you're making a new path in your brain. And the more you walk down that path, the more you use it. That pathway gets stronger and stronger, you know?
So it's like building a mental muscle.
Yes, exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Wow, okay, that's way more interesting than I thought it was, to be honest.
So we're diving into chapter 1 of Affirm Your Greatness to, really unpack all of this.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this chapter really breaks down how to actually use affirmations for, to make a positive change in your life.
Yeah. And, like one of the best things about affirmations is like how simple they are. The book defines them as these positive statements that you repeat to yourself and you use them to like challenge the negative thoughts.
Right, it's kind of like hitting the reset button on the, those automatic negative thought patterns we all have.
Totally.
Yeah.
You're just like, nope, reset.
I'm all about hitting the reset button on negativity. Sign me up.
Right. How do they actually work though?
Well, the book, it breaks it down into 4 main ways that affirmations can actually make a difference.
Okay.
So they reinforce positive beliefs.
Okay.
They reduce stress.
Important.
Boost your confidence.
Yes.
And they encourage positive action.
Okay. Let's break those down one by one.
Yeah.
First up, reinforcing positive beliefs.
I feel like this is huge because, let's be real, we're all battling our inner critics sometimes, right?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
So how do these affirmations actually help us challenge those negative beliefs we're talking about?
Yeah, because man, I can be my own worst critic sometimes. You know what I mean?
Oh, tell me about it. It's like a broken record sometimes.
Very.
But that's exactly what affirmations can help with. It's about shifting the narrative in your head.
Imagine this. You totally bombed a presentation at work. It was bad.
Oh.
Yeah, and so that inner critic, it's like ready to just replay all your mistakes on a loop over and over again.
The worst.
Yes.
Right, the absolute worst.
But what if, instead of letting that negative self-talk take over, what if you, consciously chose to counter it with an affirmation?
Okay.
Yeah, I am capable of learning and growing from this. Something like that.
Okay, so instead of, dwelling on that negative, you're kind of choosing to focus on a more empowering thought.
Exactly. You're reframing the situation.
Right. And, the more you repeat that affirmation, that positive statement, the more you start to internalize it.
And it can blossom and grow over time, and it actually starts to overshadow those negative thoughts.
I like that. It's like you're literally rewiring your brain to focus on growth instead of being stuck in that self-criticism cycle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Growth mindset. Love it.
Okay.
What about reducing stress then?
Because I don't know about you, but I think I could use a little less stress in my life.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Who couldn't?
I think that's everyone's goal, right?
Right.
But the thing is, our brains are actually hardwired to focus on the negative.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, right?
like from an evolutionary standpoint, it was a survival mechanism.
Right, so you're always paying attention to the threats.
Yeah, exactly. Like back in the day, you had to be on the lookout for saber-toothed tigers and stuff.
Right, exactly.
But these days, it's like our brains haven't quite caught up,
So we end up with this constant state of stress and anxiety.
Oh yeah, it's like our brain is stuck on high alert all the time, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So how do affirmations help us like break that cycle? Because if we're hardwired for this, how do we change it?
Well, when you consciously make the choice to focus on a positive statement, like, I am calm, I am at peace, when you're repeating that to yourself, you're basically sending this message to your nervous system.
And you're telling it like, hey, it's cool, man. We can chill out for a second. We're good.
It's like giving your brain permission to relax for a minute.
Exactly. You're hitting the pause button on that, like that fight or flight response.
I like that.
Yeah, okay.
So how does all this tie into boosting confidence then?
It's all connected, right?
Like, as you start to chip away at those negative beliefs and you reduce stress, you're naturally going to feel more confident,
Yeah, remember we were talking about that mental muscle earlier?
Right. So as you're strengthening those positive neural pathways in your brain, you start to trust yourself more,
Yeah.
And you start to feel more capable of handling challenges as they come up.
So it's not just about feeling good in the moment.
It's about building a foundation of confidence and self-belief.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that a lot.
So let's talk about the last way that affirmations create change, which is encouraging positive actions, right?
So we've talked about the thinking, but how do we get to the doing?
It's a great question because it's easy to get stuck in our heads, right?
Well, totally.
Yeah.
So how do we bridge that gap, from positive thinking to actually taking positive action?
Okay, so we've got all this positive energy bubbling up, but how do we actually use that?
Yeah.
Like, how do we channel it into actually taking action?
Because it's easy to get stuck in the thinking part, but I'm all about getting results.
Yeah.
Turning those thoughts into something real.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
And that's where affirmations can be super powerful, Because it's about aligning your subconscious mind with the goals that you have, consciously.
Okay.
So for example, let's say your goal is to be more assertive at work, right?
Okay.
So instead of letting that old tape play in your head, the one that's I'm not good enough or I can't do this, you start repeating an affirmation that's I am confident. I speak my truth and I speak it clearly.
So you're kind of embodying that statement. You're giving yourself permission to step into that confident version of yourself.
Yes, exactly. You're not just wishing for it anymore. You're affirming it like it's already true.
Oh, I like that.
And that shift in your belief, it can be so empowering.
Yeah, it's you're giving yourself a pep talk, but it's from the inside out.
Totally, okay. So, we know what they are. We know why they work. But how do we actually make them? How do we craft affirmations that actually resonate with us? You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And this chapter actually gives some really good guidelines.
Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah. So the first one, and this is a big one, is keep it positive, right?
Yeah, and it sounds super obvious, but it's really easy to fall into the trap of focusing on what you don't want, right?
Oh my gosh. Yes, I am so guilty of that. Sometimes my to-do list is basically just a list of things I don't want to do.
Right. But think about it this way. If you're constantly saying, I don't want to be late anymore, I don't want to be late, you're still putting energy into the thing you don't want.
That's true. You're focusing on the lateness.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of that, try flipping the script. So instead of I don't want to be late, it's I am punctual, I value my time, and I value the time of other people.
It's subtle, but that's huge. You're shifting your energy from aversion to attraction.
Yes, love that. Okay, what else?
Another important one is to make sure you're using the present tense.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because think about it. If you say, I will be confident, it sounds like this far off dream, right? It feels very distant. It's someday maybe I'll get there.
Right, exactly.
But when you say, I am confident, it makes it feel real right now,
Yeah, you're owning it. It's about owning that power in this moment, not putting it off.
Yes, exactly. Present moment. Love it. Makes sense.
And, another thing is to try to be specific. So instead of just like a general statement like, I am successful, really try to tailor it to what success actually means to you.
Okay.
Yeah, what does that look like?
Yeah, so instead of just like a blanket statement, I'm successful, it could be something like, I'm a sought-after expert in my field. Yes, way more powerful because it's specific to you, it's personal, exactly. Or I confidently lead my team to achieve our goals, something like that.
Okay, it's meaningful. Got it.
And that actually ties into the last guideline, which is to use I statements.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like this isn't about anybody else, it's not about changing other people. It's about you, it's about changing your own mindset, your own beliefs.
It's about you owning your power to create change in your life. I am feeling very inspired to start writing some affirmations right now. But any tips on how to actually use them? How do I bring them into my everyday life?
Yeah, that's great. And like with anything, consistency is key.
Right. You don't have to spend hours on this, even just dedicating a few minutes every day can make a huge difference.
Okay, so think about maybe incorporating them into your morning routine.
Oh, yeah.
Or write them down on sticky notes, You can put them around your house, on the bathroom mirror.
Yeah, places you're going to see them.
Exactly. Or even just record them on your phone and listen to them throughout the day.
Whatever works for you.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that.
What I really like about this chapter is that it feels like, we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
It's giving you that really solid foundation.
The tools that you need.
Yeah, the tools, exactly.
And then you can kind of take it and run with it.
Yeah, and figure out what works best for you.
Yeah, totally. I love that.
And that's the beauty of it. It's like a journey,
It's a journey of self-discovery, and the more you experiment with it, the more you explore, the more you're going to unlock that, transformative power of affirmations. So as we're kind of wrapping up our deep dive on affirmations today, I'm curious. For you listening out there, what's one area of your life where you want to see some positive change?
Yeah, good question.
And what's one affirmation that you could start using today to shift your mindset and really create that change?
That's so good. I love that.
And remember, even small changes can make such a huge difference over time.
So choose your affirmation, own it, and just see what happens,
Yeah,
You might just surprise yourself.
totally. And that's a wrap on our deep dive on this chapter of the book, Affirm Your Greatness. Thanks for joining us on this journey to a more positive and empowered you.
You have just listened to the Affirm Your Greatness podcast. Check out the video description for more details and stay tuned for more episodes. Thanks.